Typical gravity wall, the anatomy of a gravity wall. We can go approximately 6 feet tall with just using a 2-foot unit. We have a base leveling pad, and one of the things as a contractor, we always installed filter fabric separating the base leveling pad from the foundation soils. And what happened one day was that it rained and we were working in a clay area, and that clay had gone a little mushy. You all know what clay looks like when it's mushy. And I put my regular 3/4 base down and put the 400-pound plate compactor on it, and the gravel disappeared into the clay, and the clay came up into the gravel, and it contaminated all of my base leveling pad. You shake your head and you understand what I'm talking about, right? Well, from then on, I always put a filter fabric separating those two materials, so I didn't ever have those two materials blending into each other. And I could work immediately after any of these kind of situations and still have good base leveling pad. So I would, in every situation, put a base leveling pad or a filter fabric separating that stuff. It also helps in the stability. A filter fabric can act almost like another 6 inches of base material. That's how much strength it has in separating or spreading loads. So it is helpful as far as making sure that we have good loads. But also make sure that you compact or have a good density in your subsoils. Your foundation soils should have been compacted to about 95 Proctor or better. A good density should be in that area before you put your leveling pad, which is approximately 6 to 8 inches deep. You want that leveling pad on a 2-foot block, approximately 3 feet, 3+ feet wide. And then what we do is we put our blocks down, we screed that area, but the backfill in this zone should be impermeable material so that the water hits this, gets led to the exit, and then it's brought out of the front of the face or beside the wall, behind the wall. But that's fairly important, because if we have gravel going all the way down and we have a pipe at that level, it's worthless. You might as well not have spent the money on the pipe. The pipe needs to be at a surface where the water hits to and gets led to that exit. All right? All the interior of this block is filled with crushed gravel, like we talked about earlier, a 3/4 minus or 3/4 clear crush with no fines. The backfill zone, one of the things that I like to do is step or dado our back cut so that we have a better interlock between this reinforced area with the foundation or retained soils. We want to make sure that the system works. On taller walls, it will be more important that we have this stepping detail rather than a continuous slope, so that water doesn't find that creeping zone. And then on top, we also have another filter fabric separating the fines, the planting soils up here, separating those planting soils from migrating down into the chimney and then up so that we don't have it migrating and staining the face of the wall. So those are the two areas we use filter fabrics. Anybody use filter fabrics? It's great stuff, isn't it? I had a policy on all our driveways. Every driveway we did in pavers had a filter fabric separating the foundation soil from the base area. And one of the things that we did is I took apart, you know, where the wheels come into the garage, right in that area. It would always be the same way, and you get these rutting. I took it apart and I looked at what was happening. The soils underneath the slab were weaker than what we had in our pavers. So what was happening is it was driving our gravel underneath the garage slab, and it was dipping. in the pavers. So I took filter fabric and I did this and I wrapped it up right to the surface of the slab. And then later on I just took a torch and I burnt that off or trimmed it off with a knife. But then it kind of created a barrier so it didn't drive underneath the slab and we had no more ruts. It was amazing, the difference. And from then on, again, it was a policy of our contracting company. It was my insurance policy I put into place that we would put filter fabrics under every driveway we ever did again, whether it was a spec or not spec. But it was an amazing insurance policy that I didn't have to go back and do a repair. We all know what our repair costs, how much time it takes out of our day to go back and do a repair. I would encourage you guys to do it. And again, on the outside where the lawn or the landscaping is, it's another area that you want to bring it up so that you're controlling the structure of your driveway within that area rather than letting it creep away into the softer areas of your project. So that's about the anatomy or basic structure of a wall. Now some of this will change when we have positive slopes or loads on top, negative slopes below the wall. Some of the structures do change. Your depth of burial is approximately half of the standard block, about 12 inches. You can get away with probably 8 inches on a small wall like this of burial. Any questions on gravity? Clear as mud. Perfect. Here's some projects. You can see how we've got a half-high stepping that elevation down. We've got fence posts inside the hollow core, concrete core filled. Public pool area, that's just under 6 feet tall. Here's another 6 foot high wall with a half-high as the top of the wall detail. So just some small gravity walls that have been done with it.